Are you constantly feeling tired with low motivation or just struggling with your day-to-day? But did you know that you have untapped power, and some might say unlimited power within yourself? In this video, we're going to be talking about the power that is your mind, your body, and your soul, how to balance it, and how to live a fulfilled life. Welcome back. It's great to have you. My name is Alex, and I hope that you have seen my videos before. I do videos that are entertaining and just fun, but I also do these videos that are very informative. And this topic today that we're bringing today is going to be on the mind, the body, and the soul. It's such an important topic. Sometimes we focus on one part more than others. But before we get into that, make sure you like and subscribe wherever you're following from, whatever platform you're using. Make sure you follow and even share this video with other people. All right, let's dive into the topic of today, the mind, the body, and the soul. Like I said, usually people tend to see the mind and they know that if the mind is something that you need to work on. Or they see the body and they say, okay, the body is something they need to work on. Working out and things like that. We'll get to that in a minute. Or sometimes they'll see the soul like, yes, I have to get connected with my soul, with God a little bit more. But rarely do we see that as three working together and how they intertwine. And they do. So before that, let's start with even defining each one. You see, the mind is where your mental processes happen, where your thoughts happen, where even your personality happens. Everything is in your mind. The synapses, the skills that you're learning happen in the mind. For example, if you want to learn an instrument, the guitar, for example, the first time you try it, what's happening in your mind is that your mind is learning a new skill and the connections, the synapses are not there. As you practice more and more and you practice over a long time, you start to realize and start to know the chord, the notes, where to put your hand, and that's all happening in your mind. And this is really important, obviously, for yourself to grow and even as a little child learning to walk. It's because the reason they fall is because when we'll get to that, the motor skills are not there, the body is not there, but also the mind is not there because they haven't gotten there yet. So the mind is very important. Now the body is just our physical selves. It's almost like a architecture. It's a building, if you want to say it that way. It's a building where you are inside. A lot of people, a lot of us, we take our time and we dive into the body and working out and doing diets, and you believe that that's you, and that is you, and we have to do all of those things, and we're going to talk about those more in depth here. We do have to do all those things, but the body is the house of what is really inside of you. And that brings us to the third one. The third definition is our soul, and your soul is really what you are. It's that energy. Energy cannot be destroyed. And that energy that is within you, that is really who you are. You see, your body one day will pass away and it will die and it will get buried. And even your mind, in that essence, your mind is your brain, and all that will stay here, will just cease to exist. But your soul is something that transpasses the physical world, the physical world, and goes into the supernatural world. And all those three together make you who you are today. Now, all three are important. Have you ever noticed or seen that person who's working out? So they're working out so much and they're looking in the mirror. I know you probably have a picture of that person just working out, looking in the mirror, and they're super toned, super buff, but all they could talk about is either working out or a diet or things like that. And they don't know anything else, or they might not even be able to hold a regular job just because that's what the whole world is. That's because that person is solely focusing on the body. I've also seen people who are very studious. They know about every single topic there is to know, but they're lost in the world. They really don't know even who they are, and they can't really integrate with society too well or even with others. And that's once again because that person is mostly focusing on the mind and neglecting the other two. All three work together. And I'm a big proponent of all three, really. The mind, you have, in order to grow your mind, reading books is a great thing. We're gonna read books. Keep intact with the news. Maybe not all the news, all the bad news that's happening, but just keep intact in the world that's happening around you. Do puzzles, just continue to learn new skills. Even if you're older, it doesn't matter how old you are, learning a new skill actually prevents the mind from getting lost at the older years as you go along. You have to keep the mind intact and the mind working. Have free time and you have 5 hours of just wasting your day in 5 hours. You start to become unfulfilled. The feeling of unfulfillment comes to you because you're not doing anything. And that's what happens to the mind. When the mind is left to wander and not really any struggle within the mind, it's not a great thing. A lot of us believe that if not having problems is a good thing, but actually not having problems, it can also be a problem, because not having problems makes your own mind create problems. With all that, what I'm trying to say here is just keep yourself occupied. Obviously, having too little time is not good as well. Not having enough time to sleep, not having enough time to do things that you really want to enjoy, some leisure time, that's not good as well. But working, having the attitude of working and working your mind is going to be a great thing for your whole self as a whole. Going to the body. The body is a function of your physicality, your organs, your immune system, your cardio system, your nervous system, and all of that, even in your body, works together. You can't have your cardio system working well and your nervous system breaking down, because then your nervous system is going to affect your cardio system, and vice versa. Your immune system and everything works together. There's so many systems in the body and they all work together. Now, when it comes to the outward look of yourself, obviously whatever you're doing to your inside is going to transfer to your outside. And that's why working out, eating right, and just having some type of working in your body is going to be a great thing. But even going to the people who are sick, there are a lot of people who are sick. And actually, very recently, I've had my ankle issues, knee issues for a while actually. And when you feel hurt, when you feel pain, your pain even starts to go into your mind. It doesn't even let you think. I mean, I've had this firsthand where it doesn't even let you think or let you do anything, let you process anything. You start sleeping less because you're in pain or whatever it is that your physical body is going through. And sometimes you cannot help it, that's true. But many times you can. There's a lot of difficulty in the world. It's difficult to be skinny. It's difficult to be fit. It's difficult to be a good weight. But it's also difficult to not have those things, because it's easier to eat junk food and not work out. That's obviously easier. But in the long term, that's going to have a detriment to your health, a detriment to the ones around you, and a detriment to your mind and your soul. It's going to seep into the other two. Because if you can't have your body in good shape or just in a wellness, then your mind is going to feel it. And so is your soul, because you won't be able to do anything more but just think of the problem and think of the pain or think of the situation that your body is in. Once again, there are people who have no control over this. There's sicknesses that you just have no control over your body. But the little things that you do have control, try to change those. Going back to the mind affects so much of what we do, because the mind has even the power to heal your body. There's been a lot of experiences, a lot of testimonies of people who just by their thoughts, by their actions, by their mind, they say, I'm going to get well. And even if there were tough things that they had to overcome, they overcome it because they thought about it and they said, I am going to make sure that I beat this. I've known so many people who have beat cancer, mostly because of their attitude and because of their mental awareness and their mental toughness, that they say, I'm going to beat this, and they have. So you see how the mind and the body work together? They definitely do work together, and they go hand in hand. Another experience that I've had with the body is when you work out, even if you work out, and the doctors say if you work out 30 minutes a day, that's actually enough. 30 minutes a day, 4 or 5 times a week is enough. You don't have to do an hour, 2 hours, just a little bit to get your heart going. And when you work out, Before you work out, you might say, oh, I don't want to do it, I don't want to go. But every time, this is personal experience, every time that I've gone to work out, after the workout, I'm like, oh, that was the best. That was great. There's nobody who walks away from a workout saying, oh, that was just the worst. I wasted my time on that. Because when you leave, your body replenishes itself. It goes into like this working effort, and your body's actually breaking down and rebuilding itself up. And actually it even excretes hormones, endorphins, and things like that into your brain. And it gives you the feeling of satisfaction, a feeling of feeling good. There's been a lot of times that maybe I don't even lose weight by working out one time, because that's pretty impossible. You're not gonna lose weight for one time. But when you leave, even the one time you leave, it changes your whole mental attitude. So think about that and try to incorporate that and just tap into your body affecting your mind, as well as your mind affecting your body. And the last one that we're going to speak about today is the soul. And I know that this has been a subject of debate. And obviously I am Christian and I follow the Bible. And in the Bible and in Judaism and in all religions, the soul is a very big feature of what we are. The soul is actually who you actually are. Your body, once again, like we said in the beginning, is going to stop, it has a finite time on earth, but your soul will not be destroyed, your soul will live on. And your soul is actually who you are. So your soul holds all your memories, it holds everything you are, and it holds it because that is who you are. And the soul is something that's supernatural, and we dwell too much, sometimes too much, on the natural things that are in this world, like, touching, and I have an arm, I have a car, I go to my house and I walk around, I go work out, I read a book, and all those things are great, but it's the soul that you have to keep feeding, because if your soul, if your spirit starts to dwindle and fall, everything else would fall. There's a lot of times that you have such deep problems that those problems just drag you down so much, and it brings your soul down. It just wears heavy on you. And that heaviness, again, translates, and it might not be a physical one, but because that problem is so heavy, it weighs on your soul. It translates to your mind, and it even translates to your body as well. And that's something that in the Bible, Jesus actually speaks about, and he says, bring your troubles to me, bring your burdens to me. And that's exactly what he's speaking about. He's speaking about the soul and you being able to bring your problems to him and maybe not be gone with them entirely, but the weight gets a little bit easier to bear. And that's why working on your soul is so important. The ways to work on your soul, if you're a Christian, if you believe in God, is definitely to pray, to meditate, to read the Bible, read things that connect you more to your soul and connect you more to God, because those are the things that are going to really, really help you out. It's going to stretch into the physical world, and it's going to stretch into your body, and going to stretch into your soul. Once again, the body, if your body is so broken down, sometimes you can't even think about the soul because you're like so broken down. And they all work hand in hand. It's not like one is more than the other. Maybe I believe the soul is probably the most important one because it's who you are. But on this earth, our body is very important to us because that's what we have been given in order to inhabit. Without your body, your soul won't want to be here anymore. Without a good body, your soul actually, that feeling of when somebody is unhealthy, either by choice or but not by choice, what's happening is that soul starts to get tired and tired and tired from dealing with these issues, with these body issues, with these mind issues. And what that soul actually wants to do is that soul starts to get weaker, is because they actually kind of want to leave that temple, that house, that architecture that is our body. Now, here's what we can do. We can all tap into more power. If you're feeling tired every day, if you're feeling low motivation every day, if you're just feeling that you can't get things done, work on each one of these. Not one of them, but each one of these. All of the three are important. I would say schedule something for every single category that we've been saying. Schedule something for your mind. What is it that you're doing for your mind specifically? Are you reading books? Are you learning the skills? For your body every day, are you putting in the effort to work out, to do something with your body, to walk? Maybe if you can't do too much. I've seen people who can't even walk, they'll exercise their arms, and just pumping up your blood flow will help you out. Are you doing that? And your soul, are you working every day to build connections within yourself? Those existential questions, those questions that are beyond us, are you working on those? What are the purpose of your life? Those are all questions that are so deep. Who are you? What do you do? Those questions are the kind of questions that you have to connect to and face in order for you to live a more fulfilled life. You can't leave things for the next day and the next day because they will just never get done. It's almost like sleeping. We all need sleep. 7, 8 hours a day is what the doctors recommend. And I know that a lot of us, including myself, we go with 5, 6 hours a day of sleeping. But is that really good for you? Maybe for 1 or 2 days, that would be okay for 1 or 2 days. But if you're doing that for a week, if you do that for a month where you're only sleeping 4 or 5 hours a day, that's going to start to bring you down. So you see, in the same case as those things, all these 3 things, the mind, the body, and soul, you have to work at, and you have to be cognizant of working on each one and striving to be better in each category. Thank you everyone for joining me here. This was a shorter video than other times, but it's an important topic. And another time, maybe we'll open up for questions. Actually, you know what? If you have some questions, leave it in the comments below, and I'll make sure to answer them. I might even do a video, a part 2 of this one, just because it's so important to do this video. Like I always say, if these videos are helpful to you, consider sharing them with other people, because if it's a help to you, it's probably going to be a help to somebody else. And also, this actually chapter, the reason I even brought it is because today I woke up and I was writing once again. I'm 2 chapters away from completing my book, 2 chapters away. And this second to last chapter is on the mind, the body, and the soul. And I said, let's just make a video today about this. I am giving a free chapter out for anybody who wants it, a free chapter before the book is even released. Now the book is 19 chapters. There's a chapter on confidence, a chapter on finance, a chapter on how to master anything, how to become a master of anything. And all those things are great. If you want the free chapter, I'm going to leave a link here somewhere for you to click on, and you will be able to get your free chapter today. But stay tuned, because I'm almost done. I'm up to chapter 18, halfway through it, and it will be almost done. And hopefully we'll be out and you'll be able to pre-order that very soon. Thank you once again for everybody who stayed here to the end. Remember to work on all 3, your mind, your body, and the soul. And I'm always here to help you out with anything that you need help in. Feel free to contact me, to message me, and always help each other out. You know, it's hard to change the whole world. It really is. And sometimes we want to. But sometimes it's easier, much easier to change the world for that one person. I'll see you next time, and remember, keep breaking through.